Avichal, great to have you. Now, it's not just fees like Chanos talked about that these exchanges are earning. They're also earning a spread because there isn't yet a lot of transparency or efficiency in the markets. Binance's CEO called this a hidden fee. Do you allow that could narrow over time and eat into the profitability of a Coinbase?
I think it could over time. I think it will take a long time for that to happen. I mean, we've been talking about fee compression since 2016, 2017, and it just hasn't happened yet. And I think it's because when people are buying into an asset they think might go up 1,000%, they're not really thinking about whether an exchange is charging them 1% or 2% or what those spreads look like. I think it's just the motivations here are so different given the volatility.
Right, but as we see crypto become mainstream, do you think that there's more people buying Ether and Bitcoin, or do you think that there's more people buying some of these altcoins?
I think it's going to be a mix. I think if you look at the revenue, when you look at kind of where the revenue comes from these exchanges, it's the percentage of revenue from Bitcoin and ETH has gone down over time, and it's moved into some of these other assets. And again, I think it's because people are really looking for these outsized returns. And so it makes sense that they would be thinking about, trying the altcoins. I think the other thing that's going to change the dynamic here a little bit, looking into the future, is as DeFi and staking and some of these other opportunities start to come online through the exchanges, it creates a yield generation opportunity. And so I think that may actually create some mix shift a little bit. So I think it might move people away a little bit from Bitcoin and moves people towards ETH, where you can generate staking returns and participate in DeFi. And so as these other ecosystems start to generate more yield generation opportunities, I think it'll be interesting to see how the buying patterns change for users.
Yeah. It's funny, we're in such an inflationary environment, but over the years, there's been outright deflation in financial services. We've watched it happen in equity trading as commissions went to zero. Why would fee structure get bigger over time when it came to crypto?
Well, I think there's two things at play. One is the volatility means that users are just thinking about these things really differently. And I think, two, when you look at the structure of these businesses, it's really different from traditional finance. So I think when people pattern match back to brokerages or traditional finance, there are regulatory reasons that you sort of separate out the custodian from the brokerage from the exchange. And in crypto, you don't have those constraints. And so, you sort of have to think about Coinbase or Kraken as a business that's sort of, it's Schwab plus a custodian like BNY Mellon, plus the NASDAQ, plus Goldman Sachs, plus an OTC desk. And some of these businesses have, their own jump capital or Citadel baked in. So that consortium, that collection of businesses together, I think has a real moat and has potentially, significantly more pricing power than if you were to take one of those businesses just as a standalone. And so these crypto businesses, I think you have to look at very differently from TradFi businesses.
You do have to look at it very differently, Avichal. So I wonder, what do you think that the public most misunderstands about crypto?
There's so many things. With respect to these businesses, I think it is this sort of, this bundling that you have. And, there's that old quote, there's two ways to make money, bundling and unbundling. And I think in a lot of these crypto businesses, you actually have bundling in a new way. And that bundling is going to create new sorts of moats. And those moats actually give you pricing power and defensibility in your margins in a way that I think a lot of TradFi businesses haven't been able to have. If you want to talk more generally about misunderstanding crypto, I think, we're still very, very early days in terms of most people really understanding this stuff. And so, which is another reason I think when you look at these margins of revenue on some of these businesses, I think most of the money in the world just hasn't even come up here yet.